Good morning, everyone. This is Matt Tour with Insurance Agency Marketing in Omaha. I wanted to thank you for joining us today. We'll be going over some of our top fixed rate annuity options that we have available in the market space today. I know along with the DOL legislation that's going to be coming down in June that affects the indexed side of the market. A lot of agents are currently looking for straight fixed rate options. We do have a very good selection of fixed rate contracts through IAMS. A number of carriers are very competitive in that market space right now. So we'll be going over a few of our companies today. You can get a full spreadsheet from us off our website, and we'll be going over that website address here shortly. But if you would like to download our current interest rates, you're more than welcome to get that right off our website and be able to take a look at the full product line we do have available in that market space right now. So definitely keep that in mind. I know that we do continue to offer our new producer bonus. You can earn incentives based on production. We have a $100,000 level, a $300,000 level, and a $500,000 level. You can qualify for cash bonuses. You can qualify for seminar systems. We have website development. We have a Ritz-Carlton travel rewards package. So a lot of different items you can choose from based on what we're offering through IAMS. A great combination right now. You're also able to get licensed with a number of companies at one time on our Paperless Contracting site. So if you wanted to get on the website and get licensed with any number of our companies, you're able to do that right on that Paperless Contracting site. And we'd be glad to get you involved on that side. So again, that is available on our website also at www.iamsinc.com. We do have a training session coming up in May. We also have ones coming up in September and November. It's our 2-day training we do on life and annuity programs. I know we have a very high interest level on these meetings we put together. We typically bring in about 40 agents to each meeting. We pay for your travel, and we have your lodging paid for based on your situation. And we do have a really good lineup of speakers that come in. They give you a really good overview of annuity sales ideas. We also go over life sales ideas. Really nice program we put together over the years. A great way for you to get some sales ideas on that market space. I know we have a lot of agents that like to come out more than once to these meetings. And we have some great software programs we'll be discussing, including our software program that compares income riders. You can find the best payout for your specific client. We also have a couple other software programs we'll be discussing at the meeting itself. So something you do have interest in, I'm going to go ahead and launch a quick poll here. If it's something you have interest in, definitely put down that you do have interest in attending one of our future meetings. Again, we do have one coming up in May. I believe it's the 17th through the 19th. We'll also have one in September, like the first part of September, and then we'll also do one the first part of November. So something you have interest in, just mark off yes that you'd have interest in coming out to one of our academies. We'd love to have you involved. A great way to pick up some additional sales ideas you could take back to your areas and maximize your annuity sales based on these programs, and we'd be glad to have you on board. So definitely keep that in mind. Any questions you have along the way on our webinar today, be sure to get those typed in. We'd be glad to get those taken care of for you and be able to get those answered along the way based on what your needs are. We are going over about 5 different companies and some of the programs are offering and they're in the market. We'll be discussing Sentinel Life. They've got a really good selection of straight fixed rate annuities. We'll also be talking about their sister company, Atlantic Coast Life. Their products are very similar to what Sentinel has to offer. We'll also be talking about Athene. They've got a great flexible premium multi-year rate guarantee annuity called the MaxRate. We'll be going over American Equity. They've got a new lineup of plans they've just introduced that have an income rider you can attach, and they'll also be discussing Equitrust. Equitrust has their fixed rate annuities, including their Certainty Select contract and also their Choice 4 annuity right now, which is a very strong 6-year contract, pays a 4% first-year interest rate, has a 2.5% base, and that plan pays a 5.5% compensation on a 6-year contract. So really a strong lineup of plans we'll be discussing today on today's webinar. Again, if you do have any questions along the way, be sure to get those typed in. Be glad to get you taken care of on that end and be able to help you out with those situations. The first plan we're going to talk about is the Sentinel Personal Choice. You have a choice of selling a 5-year, 7-year, or 10-year contract. In most states, the 5-year rate is at 315, the 7-year rate is at 330, and then the 10-year rate is at 3.4. Those are all fixed rate guarantees. The surrender charge period is the same as a rate guarantee. So if you have a 5-year contract, you can get out of that contract in 5 years. There are special rates in 2 states. The state of Florida and the state of Minnesota have their own special rates with Sentinel. So if you are in one of those states, then you would, of course, use the rates that are available in that specific state. Florida, the 5 years at 305, and then in the state of Minnesota, the 5 years at 285. So do keep that in mind. You do have some optional riders you can add on for free withdrawals. There's an RMD rider. There's a 10% free withdrawal rider. You can start taking out 10% in the 2nd year. There's also a terminal illness and nursing home care waiver rider you can add on. There's also a death benefit feature rider you can add on, and an accumulated interest rider withdrawal you can add on. So basically you have a chassis that you can add additional riders onto based on your client's needs. You do have the option of adding these riders in most specific states. The Sentinel plan is available to age 90 in most states. It does have a minimum premium of $2,500. So it does go to a lower dollar amount. That is for qualified and non-qualified money. So if you have a client that doesn't have a lot of money to start with, and they've got $2,500 or they got $3,000, you can go ahead and deposit that into the Sentinel policy, and your client is able to purchase that with a very low dollar amount starting. Now, this Sentinel plan is a single premium policy, so basically you can add in the initial deposit, and you are not able to add additional money beyond that. But if you did want to take out additional policies down the road, your client is able to do that. Now, if you want to look for a plan that is a flexible premium annuity that is available in the fixed market space, Athene has a very strong plan called the MaxRate annuity. It can be done on a 5-year, 3-year, or 7-year chassis. Of course, the 5-year is the #1 selling contract. It does have a current rate at $285. That's based on a $100,000 deposit. The 3-year rate is at $160, and the 7-year rate is at $295. So it does have very competitive interest rates. As I mentioned, it is a flexible premium policy throughout the contract. You do have to start with a $5,000 minimum deposit, and you do have interest available on free withdrawals. That interest is available starting in the 1st year. It does have a full death benefit. There's no additional cost for that, so it does pay a full death benefit to the beneficiary. There is a trail commission option available on this plan, so if you wanted to do a trail option, it is available on this situation. And then depending on your client's age, the commissions do drop once you get above age 70 on these contracts. So if you do have an older individual, then you would look at a slightly lower compensation. I know currently the 5-year rate commission-wise is 2% up to age 75, And the 7-year contract, that commission is 2.5 up to age 75. So these plans are available up to age 85 on the 3-year contract. It is available to age 83 on the 5 and 7-year contracts. As I mentioned, you do have a $5,000 minimum deposit. You can add in additional monies whenever you'd like. You're going to earn a compensation on that for the first couple of years, and a great way for your client to move some of their CDs. Maybe you got CDs coming up due within the next year at different time periods. You're able to add those monies together. You're going to earn a first-year compensation on that, and your client's going to have that money in their fixed account. So really nice combination. It's one of the very few flexible premium multi-year rate guarantee annuities in the market space right now. And those that do not know, Athene just had the rating increase from an A- up to an A by AM Best. So they currently are an A-rated carrier. Really strong company, and we're glad that we could see that that take place. As I mentioned, there is a free withdrawals available. You've got a confinement waiver. There's a terminal illness waiver. You got the required minimum distributions, and of course, this does have free withdrawals. So some nice features that they do have there with Athene. Atlantic Coast Life is a company we have recently brought on, and it is a really strong lineup of fixed rates. They do have a simple interest rate plan called the Safe Harbor Annuity. If you look at the 5-year contract, it pays a 4.25 first-year rate. You have a 3.25 base, so it's going to pay 3.25 years 2 through 5. If you do a compounded play on that, you're looking at 3.23 as a compounded rate. A very competitive interest rate on that contract. And that plan only has one available rider you can add on. It's a death benefit rider, so that would make your policy a full death benefit to the beneficiary. However, that does cost additional 25 bips for that rider. Now, that Safe Harbor plan does not have free withdrawals, so if you do want free withdrawals, you'd have to go with the Safe Haven Annuity. It's basically a very similar product. It does use compounded rates, so on a 5-year contract, your first-year rate is 4%. Years 2 through 5, your rate is 3%. If you figure out the compounding version of that, that would be 3.2% for the 5 years. You do have an accumulated interest withdrawal you can add on. That's a 5 bip charge. If you wanted a 10% free withdrawal, the charge on that would be 15 bips. And then the death benefit feature, which is available for 25 basis points. So depending on your client's needs, you can add on one of those features, and you'd be able to get the free withdrawals based on that situation. American Equity has introduced 3 new fixed rate annuities. They're called the Rate Shield. There is a 7-year version. There's also 2 10-year versions. On the sheet here, we're discussing the 10 plus. It currently has a 1.65% interest rate. It is available to age 80. You do have a 5% bonus you can add on to that program on all first-year premiums. It's included with the policy. There is a income rider you can add on called the Income Shield. It's an 8.5% simple interest rate, and that can roll up for a total of 20 years. The fee on that is 1%. So this plan, if you want to sell it to a client, it's mainly going to be used for income purposes. I know their income payouts on this contract are extremely high. They're going to be in the top 2 or 3 payouts based on your client's age, based on deferral. So really strong payouts on this contract. Again, it is a straight fixed rate annuity, so it is DOL friendly. And you do have an 8.5% simple interest rate on the income account, and that can roll up for a total of 20 years. So if your client wants to purchase a straight fixed rate annuity with an income rider, we do have that available through American Equity right now. and their rates are extremely competitive on those payouts. So that is one thing to keep in mind if your clients are looking for an alternative to indexed annuities, but still have the income rider available to them. This plan has those features, so definitely keep that in mind based on your situation. As I mentioned, Equitrust has their Certainly Select indexed or straight fixed rate annuity. It's a multi-year rate guarantee annuity contract. It does have interest rates guaranteed between 3 and 10 years. You do have a 3-year rate at 2, a 5-year rate at 2.60. You got an 8-year rate at 3 and a 10-year rate at 3.25. It does have interest-only withdrawals available. It does have the full death benefit. This plan does go to higher ages. It is available to age 90. You do have a compensation at 3% up to age 80. Above age 80, the compensation is at 2.25, and that is on the 5 through 10-year rate guarantees. The commissions on the 3-year contract are going to be slightly lower, but still very competitive. As I mentioned earlier in the webinar today, they do also have a plan called the Choice 4. It's a 6-year contract. It offers a 4% first-year rate. It has a 2% guarantee on the contract, and they're currently redoing that contract at 2.5%. It does have a very strong compensation at 5.5%, and that 5.5% compensation is on a 6-year contract. So really a strong rate program going there right now with that carrier. If you would like to get licensed or get some information on contracting for any companies we talked about today, I'm going to go ahead and launch a quick poll. You can go ahead and mark yes if you want to get some contracts sent out to you based on some of the companies we covered in today's webinar. Again, we do have a number of companies we covered that do offer multi-year rate guarantees. We also have the American Equity that has the fixed rate annuity that has the income rider. I believe once you see the DOL take place and go into place there based on that, you are going to see a number of carriers introducing fixed rate annuities and should be a great option. I know we also offer single premium life policies. I know the single premium life market's been very successful the last couple of years. If you'd like to get additional information on that, just give us a call. We'd be glad to get you started in that single premium life side of the market. I know that Mark Raymakers is our specialist in the office here in the life department. He'd be glad to go over those single premium life products with you and be able to go over those details. Once again, I do thank you for joining us today on the fixed rate annuities we're offering out there in the market right now that fit into the DOL legislation very well. They are straight fixed rate contracts, so you do not need to have any special education or requirements in order to sell those policies on qualified accounts. So you still have to do your product training, of course, in order to sell the contract, but they're not going to, at this point, require any additional training beyond the product training in order to sell those on qualified accounts. So do keep that in mind. If you do have any questions along the way, you can give me a call, 800-255-5055. Ask for Matt. Otherwise, everyone have a great week. I appreciate you spending some time with me this morning, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you.